On today's show, WarGames.
This is how it is today on Pop Culture Minefield. This is how it is today. This is how it is today on Pop Culture Minefield.
That's such a bouncy song. Always gets my butt bouncing in the seat. So it's the only exercise I get outside of jumping to conclusions. So let's see. Today we're going to be talking about a classic film, WarGames. And this film, it's funny. I didn't actually see it when it came out because 83 was that was the year my son was born, Benjamin. All the shit I dealt with in 83 was just kept me away from the movies. I hardly saw anything that year. And I had to get caught up later, and I ended up seeing it on home video. And I was like, oh, this is a really good film. And I was surprised it was one of those films that slipped by me. Because I saw Return of the Jedi. I saw Lone Wolf McQuade in the theater in 83. And what else big came out in 83? Let's go do a look.
Yeah, take a look, because that was the year I graduated from high school, and I joined the Army that September.
You didn't lose time.
Yeah, I was. Well,
Death Stalker was another one that came out that year. I saw on home video later. The Keep.
Mhm.
I'm trying to remember. I don't think I went to see that in the theater. I think I saw it on VHS. Let's see.
Was Poltergeist in 83?
I don't
Not sure.
recall. I'm looking through them right now. There's a lot of crappy movies.
Yeah.
I saw Never Cry Wolf in the theater. My son and I went to see that.
I went and saw Return of the Jedi opening day down in Medford, Louisiana, which is right outside of New Orleans, and it was the best movie-going experience of my life. It was just awesome. My aunt wanted me to visit her, and she said, I told her, I said, okay, look, then you got to pick me up on a Tuesday, or you got to pick me up on Thursday, because on Wednesday I'm going to be in the theater. I don't give a shit what town I'm in. And she said, why? And I told her, and she dropped me off in front of the theater at 6:30 in the morning. There was already 80 people out front. Now, back then, guys, you couldn't pre-order tickets. You had to be on the premises and be in line to get in the theater to see it, okay? And the show didn't start until 2 o'clock that afternoon. And it was 6:30 in the morning. There was already 80 people waiting out front. And they had a Charlie O machine set up, which made fountain drinks, like orange drinks and different flavored drinks and stuff like that. They knew there was going to be a lot of people out there. There was a guy, it was the first time I ever saw a bootleg movie. He was playing Empire Strikes Back in a VHS player outside the theater. And
Fuck off, really?
Yeah, he was playing it outside the theater.
Well, that was previously.
Right? And I asked him, I said, where'd you get it? He goes, oh, it just appeared in my VHS one day. I said, oh.
Whatever.
Because you could tell it was a shitty copy, But Gerry will tell you, back then, it took 3 years for movies to come out on VHS. They didn't come out.
It was like 86 when I finally saw WarGames.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to point out some movies that I saw. Here we go.
Okay.
I just went through this list, and there's actually a lot of them in here. A lot of them I saw later, like Gorky Park. I saw later. Let's see.
That was
Christmas
a big one for the Academy Awards. Yeah.
I didn't see Christmas Story in the theater. I saw it on TV. Let's see. Blue Thunder.
Saw that in the theater.
I saw that in the theater.
A couple of times. Yeah.
Monty Python, The Meaning of Life, I saw in the theater.
Saw that in the theater, yeah.
A weird one, but I'm sure you're going to remember this was Sho Kosugi. Revenge of the Ninja was a great fucking movie. Let's see. A lot of movies came out that year. Big Chill, I saw in the theater. Let's see.
I didn't see that one in the theater. I saw it later. But yeah, good movie.
Never Cry Wolf, I saw in the theater, and I went to a matinee, and I brought Benjamin with me. He was a quiet baby. He didn't fuss. And he stayed with me while I watched the movie in the theater. There was hardly anybody in there, so I wasn't too worried. The Hunger came out that year, but I've never seen it. Just not my kind of movie. It was just a little too queer for me. And that takes a lot.
Yeah, that was what I was going to say.
Merry Christmas,
Gerry. Wow.
Yeah, I know. Now I remember seeing Merry Christmas, Mr. Lawrence poster in the theater, but I never saw it in the theater. I would see it later when it came on TV. Deathstalker I saw in the theater because it was a classic little B movie. And of course, The Keep. And then, of course, Lone Wolf McQuade and Revenge of the Jedi. That was the extent of my movie theater experiences that year. Just Cheech and Chong Still Smoking. I don't think I ever even saw that one. I've seen their other films. I don't think I've ever seen that one. God, some really bad movies came out. Octopussy, Never Say Never Again. I saw that on VHS. I didn't see it in the theater.
Same here.
Now, I'm going to tell you something. I think I did go see Octopussy with my dad. He just moved to Illinois, back to Illinois, and so he and I went out to a movie, and I think that was what we went to see. Stryker was a really bad Mad Max ripoff.
Right.
God, so many bad movies came out that year.
Yeah.
Kroll came out that year. I saw that in the theater.
Kroll, I saw in the theater. Hell yeah.
So
that was great.
In the theater too.
I got to tell you, one of the best movies that came out that year, I wouldn't see until it came out, I think, on HBO, not home video, but HBO or Showtime. It was Gorky Park.
Yeah, that one was huge at the Academy Awards that year. It was nominated for a bunch of shit. Yeah.
And Dead Zone.
Dead Zone.
Oh shit, Christine. Fuck. I didn't see Christine until it came out on home video. And Cujo, I did get two shits about.
I saw Dead Zone in the theater, man. I love that movie.
Here's one I regretted not seeing that year and wish I had, because I love this movie, The Osterman Weekend, with Rutger Hauer and John Hurt.
Yeah, there you go. Good stuff.
What a fucking movie.
That's
we're going to do it here.
Playing book, right?
Yeah, we are going to do that story here because it is one of my favorite espionage films, because it all takes place when this guy comes, that the main character, Rutger Hauer's character, has never met this guy, and comes to tell him, he says, "I'm here to tell you that with all your government friend and all with your government work and your really close-knit group of friends, they're all communist spies."
Wow.
Every one of them. And then proves it to him and freaks him out. So they have the Osterman Weekend where he invites them all to his house, and like Agatha Christie mystery, they start dying. And it's fun. It's a fun little film. Burt Lancaster is in it. Yeah, I really like Dead Zone. I was shocked. I'm like going, man, I wish I'd seen that in the theater. I'm not a big Stephen King fan, and it takes a lot for me to like that. Also, another film that came out that year I didn't see till later was Uncommon Valor with Gene Hackman.
There you go. Yeah, that was a good movie too.
I feel so young when you guys are talking about going to the theater in '83, because I had just come out the year before. So
I know you're like you're a year older than my oldest son. And just to point out, I was a kid when I had him. I mean, I didn't have him. My girlfriend, wife did.
Oh,
you helped make him.
I did make him.
On your wedding, you have to film a skit on a phone. Somebody telling you, dude, that could be your daughter.
Stephen King's stuff doesn't translate well to the screen for some reason. There's a few good Stephen King properties that, like Carrie, is a classic.
Yeah, but I wouldn't.
But
I wouldn't put the blame on
Well,
King.
I think sometimes the films are better than what King created. The Shining.
I was going to say that with
example.
Dead Zone. I thought Dead Zone was better than the book. I thought that movie was awesome, man. Love it. But then again, it's Christopher Walken.
Here's another one.
Master.
Space Raiders.
Oh, Space Raiders. Wow.
I didn't see that one until it came out on either HBO or Showtime, whatever it was on. And then I recorded it. I liked it so much I recorded it. Executive Action 73. Very much, it's a Kennedy assassination conspiracy film. And it's actually a really good film. No, I totally agree with you, Glenn. Just this one time. I don't ever want to agree with you again. The first person in the house was Slasher Fred. Let's see what his comment was. I think that what makes WarGames is how it is all about the dangers of computer because, well, I'm going to tell you something because you're right. And you statement, and I'm finishing reading, computer genius who unknowingly hacks it. Yeah, he didn't mean to. This was an accident. He was trying to get a game for free that was about to come out. And he knew it was in this one area code, which is a fake area code, by the way. It's 311 is another one of those numbers that's reserved, like 411. It's reserved for, and this one is like for like local information, like weather, inclement weather, shit like that.
Reporting graffiti, stuff like that.
Reporting graffiti, yeah. So, but a lot of, because Minty, I love watching Minty, but Minty is one of the unfunniest motherfuckers I've ever seen. I swear to God.
Dude.
His dad jokes are just so bad. It's like, I said, you know what? I bet your asshole cringed when you wrote that or read it. The Twilight Zone movie came out in 83. Oh, man. And I saw that in the theater. I remember seeing that in the theater.
Yeah. Okay, you have there here.
Agree ever
I got
again.
a question for the older folks.
Anima is gorgeous.
She's
thank you.
Superly gorgeous. So there, I made up my own thing. She's so gorgeous. She's gorgeous.
Right. I don't know if you know this about artists, but we don't do ugly, okay? We only hang out with gorgeous, okay?
Oh, dude. Back in the 80s, I was doing a lot of portraiture. And I had this woman commission me to take a bunch of photos to do a portrait of her son. And the last thing she says to me is, you make him look good. And my brain, just the way it thinks, I thought, and I wished I'd said it, but I'm glad I didn't, is if God couldn't do it, how the fuck do you think I'm going to do it?
Right.
I like that.
And I'm sitting there and I started really thinking about it going, gosh, how do I make someone that's really fucking ugly good looking? And I realized if I do modify it to where I make him presentable, it won't look like him anymore.
Right.
So I just drew him, and it's a face that only a mother could love, and she loved it.
Yeah.
And
that's the thing. Beauty's in the eye of the beholder. She probably thinks he's gorgeous.
Hey, we have Meth in the chat. Meth, why are you not here?
Yeah, what's up?
I think he's on dad duty, probably. It's just after
311 is the non-emergency service. Yeah. It's non-emergency reporting, but also you can go there for inclement weather in your area. Because I remember that being a list of one of the things for 311. I remember back in the 80s when computers were a lot different. Now, I didn't hack, okay? I know how to use computers. I was in the computer lab all the time playing games. I love to play computer games. And but sadly, back in the 70s, you didn't have a monitor in our high school. You had a dot matrix printer that constantly printed. Yeah. Was printing super fast what you were doing. So you basically, each printout was an iteration of an animation. Each printout. And I'd play Lunar Lander was one of my favorite. Asteroids was another one. And you would wait for each one to know where each one was going in order to aim. By the way, wasn't this supposed to be the Entebbe show? No, that's on the 13th, dude. It's after the 13th.
It's not even on the schedule.
Yeah, it's not on the schedule, but I do believe that I wanted to be. Yeah, it'll be next week. It'll be after the 13th, because the 13th isn't the anniversary of Entebbe, but it's the anniversary of the Mossad. And if not for the Mossad, that mission would have failed.
Yeah.
And I got to put this out. The IDF lost only one soldier in that mission to rescue those hostages. And it was a young officer that got killed. Richard Dreyfuss, or Dreyfuss as some people call him, played him in one film, because there are two Entebbe films.
Mm-hmm.
And that came out really close together, one in 76, one in 77. And I'm going to do the better of the two, in my opinion. And it's not, I don't think it's the one with Richard Dreyfuss. It's got both films boast an all-star cast.
Yeah.
And I definitely want you here next week for that one. I'm not sure I'd use super fast and dot matrix.
Right.
Oh, 11 Alpha, you know I was being ironic.
Guys, I have used 132 columns dot matrix in high speed, and that shit is fast.
Not these printers.
Quite loud.
They looked like something from an old movie about newspapers receiving a news story by dot matrix printer. It's like you just sort of sit there watching the words slowly being printed line by line. Words. It's like it doesn't have a typewriter thing. It's dot matrix. So it's painting the fucking letters onto the page line by line.
And it's all asterisks and semicolons and all kinds of shit like that.
Well, Che, the one thing I got to point out is this film is probably more relevant today than it ever was.
Right.
And I highly recommend this film for everybody. It's the first hacker movie. A lot of people don't know that. It is the first hacker film. And it absolutely changed how the U.S. government handled dealing with the movie. Because the U.S. government, because Reagan actually liked this film. Minty says, I heard that. No, he actually liked the film. He played it in the White House the day after opening day. So he got to watch it in the White House. And it had a huge impact on him to where he called for a meeting and asked, is this possible? And they're like, well, yeah, because this is what we do to China and what we do to Iran and other countries.
The beginnings of
we
cyber
hack their
warfare,
computers.
right? Yeah.
It is. So this film was the first of its kind, but it also led to another video game that was very popular with my dad called Missile Command.
Yes, love that game.
There were two games that were kind of loosely based on the movie, including one that was, they're both called WarGames. But it was really odd that the game that felt more like the movie was the game video. It was Missile Command, and that was not a game I played. My dad played that thing. He'd be sitting there with his arm crutches on a stool and just rolling that fucking ball, clicking that button and blowing up missiles. I enjoyed watching my dad play that. I'm having some sort of problems here, so give me a second, guys.
I tell you, man, I got a question for those of you that are a little bit older out there. How many of you figured out this hack back then? I built a 500 movie collection just from renting VHS tapes and recording them on beta. Because if you remember back then, they had copyrights on these VHS tapes. And if you went from VHS to VHS, the picture and the sound was all screwed up. But if you went from the VHS format to beta, it didn't show up on it. So I built a huge movie collection on Betamax when I was in the Army.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. I remember Betamax, and it was like it was the next thing, and then it died.
It died because they couldn't record as long. That's the entire thing.
Yeah, because I had beta, and it looked better than VHS.
Yeah, it was
the picture quality is better.
And it was smaller, more compact, but couldn't record as long. I mean, you could get up to 12 hours on a VHS, and you could only get
two ways. Hold on, I want to respond to that. Put that back up. It shows in the film one of the ways to do it. The other way to do it was one hacker had found a penny whistle, and it
in a cereal box
tone. Yeah, in a cereal box, and he fucking used it as a tone into the phone receiver, and it would connect him when he used it. And so there are two ways. They show the one. All you have to do is take the receiver cap off and get down to the nitty gritty of what's inside there. And you can. And he used the a can opener, because back
Pull
then
tab.
when you pulled the tab up, it came off.
Yeah, pull
And
tab.
he found one in the gravel around the gas station, and he picks it up and does a connection between that little chip and the phone itself, and it does a quick click, click, click sound, and then he's got a fucking tone, and he dials the number for free.
Mm-hmm.
It's fucking cool, and those were real hacks.
Yep.
And it also had a huge impact on the hack community. It was very small at that point, and that movie created such a fantasy thing for young nerds. They wanted to be that guy, you know.
Matthew Broderick, between this and Ferris Bueller's Day Off, got a lot of teenagers in trouble. A lot of them.
Yeah, so I'm going to point out some things that are interesting about the film, and I'll go to the branding real quick. And I didn't upload them yet. Or did I? Yes, I did. This is David Scott Lewis, not to be mistaken with Scott Lewis. He is the hacker that the movie is kind of based on. And this is the general, the real general, General James V. Hardinger. And he is the general that, what's his name, is playing?
Gerry.
Hang on, I'm pulling.
Bernie Gerry.
Love that guy in the movie. He's fantastic. He is awesome.
I'm trying to find my cast list. I did have it up, and it looks like there it is.
The banter between him and
Barry
Dabney
Corbin.
Gold. Yeah,
Barry Corbin, who's probably best remembered for that Canadian Mountie show with the moose at the beginning of the show, because he played an astronaut in that. And,
that's the best show ever. That's called
Northern Exposure.
Northern Exposure. Yes. Fucking love it.
And again, Matthew Broderick's character is based on the real guy, David Scott Lewis. And fascinatingly, John Wood played the part of Dr. Stephen Falcon, who is based off Dr. Stephen Hawking. And originally, his character was in a wheelchair. Wow. And ironically, the voice of what's his name? The computer's name?
Joshua.
Joshua's voice is actually voiced by actor John Wood as well. Huh. And what they would do is they would have him say his lines backwards for Joshua. And I mean, the words were still said forward, but then they would invert the words. They would rearrange them in the other order. And he would say like Yoda, he would talk backwards, you know, and then they would rearrange it. And what they found is when you do that, it causes you to talk like a Dalek or something, or sound like a speak and spell, because your intonation is different. And so that's why they used John, because John or Joshua was the name of his son. And I don't know if they even showed that in the movie. That was something I learned early on, that his character's son died. And he named the computer after his son. And
the girl reads that article about him, Gerry, remember?
It is in the
film. It says that his wife and son died in a car crash or something, and then his health deteriorated and he died too.
Now, speaking of names, Joe, remember what we're talking about last week about this movie? And yes, they called Whopper because of the hamburger.
Yeah.
Well, that's one of the reasons why.
Yeah, there were two reasons, but I think the second reason is more like a rationalization of the first one, an excuse.
Now, they had two directors on the film, and the first director, very good director, mind you, but he wanted to make a straightforward thriller with it. And some of the stuff he shot is still in the movie. In fact, the phone scene is one of his scenes that he shot. But the problem as they were going along is they didn't, the script, he wasn't following the script. And the script was more fun. And he took kind of the fun out of it. And when Badham, who came in later to take over directing it, Badham did some good films, Blue Thunder. He did the weird Dracula film with Frank Langella. And he did the American version of Le Film Nikita, Point of No Return. So he was comfortable with action films, and he wanted this film to have a little bit of an action feel to it, even though it's not an action film, it's a thriller. But he wanted the fun to be back in it. And I really enjoyed this story that when he got in there, he realized that the two young cast members weren't enjoying themselves in making the film. And so he decided to make it fun for them. And instead of just for the scenes, because you had Ali Sheedy, she's the actress that I had the big crush on in the 80s.
Oh, we all did, man. Shit, yeah. She was gorgeous. Yeah.
And Matthew.
This is
both
two
of them were
of the
teenagers.
greatest actors going today in this opening scene, buddy.
Well,
John Spencer and what's the other guy's name? He's in
Michael Madsen.
Michael Madsen. Yeah.
John Spencer is Leo McGarity he's the chief of staff on the West Wing. Yeah. When I watched this movie again, I was like, holy shit, I can't believe these guys are in there.
To me, he'll always be the FBI director Womack of The Rock.
Yeah, right.
I loved him in that role.
Yeah. Yep.
And Madsen's actually doesn't like when you watch him, it's like, man, I'm used to him acting like an asshole. He's actually playing this straight. I liked it.
Yeah. He's actually cool in this. Yeah.
But I will point out too, right here and now, one of the other films we're going to be doing soon has something in common with this film, and it's called Lady Hawk. And Lady Hawk has two of the cast members from this film in that film again. This time, John Wood plays the villain.
Yeah.
I think that's next week, right? Lady Hawk.
Yeah. And Matthew Broderick plays Mouse, the thief in the film. Mm-hmm. Once again, playing somebody who sneaks into places and steals things, just like in this movie.
Yeah, this opening scene really sets the tone for the thriller part of the show. I mean, there's a lot of teenage, comedy in it and stuff like that, but the seriousness of it is set in this opening scene. What could really happen, if we have a nuclear war, the kind of struggles these guys are going to go through. These guys don't know this in the opening scene, but it's a test. But they're led to believe it's the real thing. And
I want to point out the importance of this and why having a computer do this is such a bad idea. Because the whole point of having the two key system is if one is in doubt, they don't turn the key.
Yeah.
And that's why when you see Michael Madsen's character point a gun at him, you can't do that.
No.
You cannot make the other person turn the key. If they refuse to turn the key, it is that human interest thing that the military still has to this day. These guys are top trained, and you have to be run through several psych evals before you're greenlit to do this job. You have to be a very calm person. The one thing you don't want in there is somebody with any sociopathic tendencies. Sociopathy is huge, and you'll be surprised in espionage. People that work in the espionage film tend to be narcissists. And it's true. And they tend to have a form of sociopathy, making them very morally pliable.
Now, if you allow me to spoil this 40 years movie.
Hey, Stephen Hawking says, go ahead, dude.
I like how they make you believe that the young guy, that Madsen, shot this one.
Yeah, they make you think it by cutting. Yep.
And then you afterwards you see them when they are upgrading the installation.
Yeah, they're taking out the seats. That is a great visual metaphor for that it's going to automation. They took out the human seats.
I was going to say that too, and you know what? It's a great visual metaphor for anytime somebody loses their job due to automation. It's wow, what a visual that movie has right there. Yep.
Yeah, because those seats are mounted. They don't move around. They're mounted into the floor, and so when you see those things getting pulled out, now I will point out to you something really cool. This is one of the most expensive movie sets ever made. What they have there for NORAD. And oddly, when finally images came out of what NORAD looks like, it is nowhere near as cool as this movie.
No.
It looks really boring.
They've used that set a few times in movies, haven't they, Gerry?
Yeah.
It's way smaller than they made it look at the movie. So.
Yeah, it's way smaller. And but I love this whole movie, and it's got that ship in a bottle feel to it when we go into the third act, because once they get back to NORAD, it's like, holy shit. Oh, and I will point out this really cool thing that happens later. They are driving in a Jeep to get there as soon as possible. And on camera, they had the Jeep has an accident, and nobody was hurt.
Oh, they were hurt, just not badly. Some people got hurt.
Badly. And but the director, Badham, decided to keep it in the film, and instead of driving up into the tunnel, it forced that tension increases because now they got to run on their feet from the wrecked Jeep. And so I love that he likes that thing, as the famous artist would say, happy little accidents.
Happy little accidents.
Yeah. Happy little accidents. In the light, hold on, put that back up. I was just going to read it out loud. The montage scene in the library, of which is looking up the game, Falcon's Maze, is such a great scene because it shows his obsession with wanting to play the games. And that's something they learned from hackers, that hackers find out who made the network. And then they go research that person. And through doing that, they learn information that could potentially be the passwords.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And that's how early hackers did it, is obsessing and learning, going to the library
baby.
and shit.
Research.
And you'll be shocked if you go to the Library of Congress in Washington, how much information that the U.S. government thinks is classified is actually available in the Library of Congress. Because when Tom Clancy began writing his books, the CIA and NSA were like, what the fuck is going on here? How does he know about this?
He got debriefed by the White House.
Debriefed several times over his career. The last time he got debriefed was over his use of a jetliner in a terrorist act, and is right before executive orders. And I can't remember the book, what it was named, but they flew into the Capitol, and I think they hit the Pentagon too. But their job was to kill everybody in the Capitol building. And when 9/11 happened, they immediately got a hold of Clancy to debrief him again. And no, that doesn't mean take his underwear off.
His first book, Hunt for October, they called him in, wanted to know how he knew everything about our social
the Caterpillar Drive.
Yeah.
The Caterpillar Drive. He had just guessed things too. He just saw what was available at the Library of Congress and filled in the holes because he knew enough information, because he was a technical guy. He was not actually a very good writer. He wasn't. He was very good at the tech stuff. And that's why it's been a debate for years that he worked with a ghostwriter to help him with the stories and the narrative process and the dialogue.
But I had seen the concept of the Caterpillar Drive in a Popular Mechanics magazine.
Yeah, they talked about that way before the Caterpillar Drive. So it's like, it's just funny when the CIA don't realize this shit's out there already. We thought that shit was top secret.
National security doesn't know what the public can see through the Library of Congress and public records. He gets all of this stuff from public records, man. It's ridiculous.
By the way, another scene that was directed by the first original director, not Badham, is the scene where he meets with the other hackers. And Eddie Deason is in there. Eddie was one of the most annoying actors in the 80s.
Mm-hmm.
And in the late 70s, because he'd been around since I think 78. But he's also in a little movie that we're going to cover on this one too. Might try to do it before Christmas, called 1941 with John Belushi.
Oh,
There you go.
Eddie Deason is the character with the dummy that gets stuck up on the Ferris wheel at the end. Oh, come on. Oh, man, you guys.
Dude, I saw that.
It's been a long time since I've seen that movie, Gary. I'm sorry. I do remember the Ferris wheel. Yeah.
Pathetic. Another great actor that's in this, he plays one of the guards in this, is Art LaFleur. That dude's a really good actor. He's in a film that I worked on, Running Time with Bruce Campbell. Another one that's in the scene with the hackers is Maury Chaykin, who's also a big character actor in Hollywood. Jason Bernard is in this movie. And his first movie before this one was as one of the airport personnel that watch the radar. What are they called? That sit up in the tower. Air traffic controller. He's one of the air traffic controllers in Close Encounters.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. You get some really unknown people. Stephen Lee is in this. He became a great character actor. Let's see. Art LaFleur, John Spencer, he brought him up. Michael Madsen, Eddie Deason, who really needed to be taken out of movies and not put in them. He should be doing cartoon voice work only because he's got one of those annoying voices. John Wood, this is a big film for him. He played the professor. Yep. And originally, Dr. Stephen Falcon was supposed to be, you guys want to say who it is? The actor? He's not an actor?
Don't know.
He wrote a little song called Imagine. Yeah, there you go. Anima knows. John Lennon was originally cast to play Dr. Stephen Falcon, but it was early on.
He was interested, but then he got shot. So.
Yep. Shot by a maniac that I hope never sees light of day. The guy should never be free.
He deserves to rot, and I'm not even a Beatles
Another
fan.
right there. There he is, right there. That man, right there. Dabney Coleman.
And surprisingly, he's a master at playing a dick, and he's kind of a dick in this movie, but he's not a total dick.
No, he's he's also a good guy.
Yeah.
Which is why he has that he gets a happy moment at the end.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Yep.
James Tolkien is in this. I forgot about James Tolkien, for God's sakes. Come on. Anybody? Anyone?
Mm-mm. Go, man. Teach us, a wise one. Teach us.
Oh, man. James Tolkien. Let me pull him up here just so you can see some of the shit this guy was in.
Oh, you guys know he's not disappointed in me. He's disappointed in you. He knows I'm a heathen.
Yeah, I'm disappointed in all of you. He was famous for playing a principal in a little movie called Fast Times at Ridgemont High. It's what most people know him for. Do you remember what he's famous for saying all the time to Sean Penn in that?
I've seen that movie several times. Principal or teacher?
He was the principal. Okay. And the teacher was
the
Ray Walston.
Teacher.
Yeah, Ray Walston was the teacher.
Okay.
But he was also Detective Lubick in Masters of the Universe. He played Stinger in Top Gun. He was in Back to the Future. No, I'm sorry, I'm thinking that one. He was the principal at Back to the Future High School.
Okay, thank you. I was fixing to say, I don't remember Spicoli interacting with the principal in Fast Times. It was always the history teacher.
And one of the last things I saw him in, because I don't know if he's still alive, he was the pianist in the bar in the movie Bone Tomahawk.
So that guy's last name is Tolkien. Nice.
This joke was not told to anybody that he says in there. And he says, anybody want to guess it, who came up with the first theory of non-sexual reproduction?
Asexual, yeah.
Anyone?
Asexual.
And then he calls on the kid, Matthew Broderick, and Broderick's scared. He goes, your wife?
Your wife?
When you hear the laughter, it sounds like it's just the kids. No, the entire crew didn't know that fucking punchline was coming.
That place blew
and
up. And
you can hear them laughing. It's in the film. You can hear the film crew laughing. It's funny as shit. He's like,
so great.
And I told Anima the minute he did that, I said, that was me in high school. And that's what happened to me constantly. I'd get thrown out of class for being a smartass to the teacher. I got told to leave class so many times. And they would tell me to get out of the class and then wait outside the door because I had to get a hall pass to go to the office. And I told, I don't know if I've told everybody, but I've told a few people that it was so bad, my smart ass mouth, that to teachers, that when they said something stupid, I would just jump on it. And it got so bad that they got together as a gang and demanded that I have a psych eval. So they brought in a psychologist, a clinical psychologist, Dr. David Floor. He's still practicing in Fredericksburg, Virginia. And he's the one who did my psych eval that just said, this kid's normal. What are you talking about? He's funny. He says, do you know that this guy has to work a full-time job after he leaves school? He goes and works a full-time job and then also has to take care of his disabled father. And nobody knew that. And they said, maybe before you judge people, you find out a little about him. He's punchy because he's got so much on his shoulders and it comes out through his humor. And it really was. But yeah, I love this. When he gets in trouble here.
Yeah, the guy's like, you again? Shit, come on.
And it's just like, God, I had such a terrible relationship. Because not the principal, the vice principal and I didn't like each other. I'd known him since I was in the 4th grade. I hated his guts, Mr. Blaylock. And man, he just, I quit high school over it. A lot of people don't know that. I actually did graduate, but I quit and went and took my GED because I got sick of him. And I couldn't stand the faculty. And I complain about it to this day for kids that have to go to schools like that. It's just terrible. You know, I just realized there's no gradation on the logo part of the screen.
It is.
I know it was accidental, but I just realized, like, holy crap, that you can't see through the letters or anything. I'm like, no, that's all right. We'll survive it. You can still see enough, in my opinion. I had that same haircut too as Matthew Broderick back then. Really gay.
I didn't. I had a military haircut. I was in ROTC, of course. So, you know.
Yeah. Something that you're told not to mention when you're in basic. Don't tell people.
Yes, absolutely. But you don't have to mention it. They see your rank. They see you're already.
Well, they figure you did something because education can also do that.
Yeah.
Education can get you rank. But I remember these modems, dude.
Yeah. That 1983, dude. I didn't have my first home computer until almost the 90s. I think that's the first time I got an Apple.
I think we have something for that, guys. Gerry?
Oh, no.
Yes, we do. We
nice little breach there.
Yes. We got a little breach.
I was hoping for that.
Let's see. I'll go with the first one.
That system probably contains a new data encryption algorithm. You'll never get in there.
Hey, I don't believe that any system is totally secure. I bet you Jim could get in.
Yeah, I bet you couldn't.
I bet you he could.
Well, you'll never get in through the frontline security, but you might look for a back door.
I can't believe it, Jim. That girl's standing over there listening and you're telling about our back doors?
Mr. Potato Head. Mr. Potato Head, back doors are not secrets.
Mr. Potato
Isn't that great?
Mr. Potato
Three in one
back
video.
doors in one clip, yeah.
Damn, that's good.
And the thing is,
so it's always about the back door here.
The Mr. Potato Head was more aware about the other meaning of the back door than this one.
Right. Oh my God, too damn funny, man.
And I remember having to do everything in DOS. It's so weird. And if I tried to do it today, I couldn't do it. I went into the DOS part of Windows because you still can get in there. I looked there and went, oh my God, I can't remember any of the keystrokes. It's like C:.
They were still using that shit at Libby for some of their fucking maintenance programs and shit. When I was working there in the 2000s, I was like, dude, you guys really need to upgrade your shit.
And let me tell you something. In the U.S. military, they're always using something for their fucking computer systems that are like 20 to 30 years out of date.
Yep.
And like at this point in real life in the US military, they were still using computers that were built in the 1950s. That's a fact.
Mm-hmm.
Dude, one of the key programs we use at the store where I'm working looks like something right out of the 80s. And it's just as annoying to work with. I hate that fucking program. And I hated DOS back in school when I had to learn.
Oh, DOS.
Never figured that out.
Yes.
Never got the hang of it. Or just copy what the person next to me is doing.
Put that back up, please. Hey, Vinzinger. Yeah, I totally agree with you. Although I've seen the movie. I have the movie. I love that movie. And I love some of the outtakes on it. And what's even cooler is that tank, they had to build it from scratch for the movie. That's a fact. Go look at the making of that movie in 1941. Some really cool shit. Matthew Broderick and Anima were later in the movie Inspector Gadget. I enjoyed it.
I hate the whole concept of Gadget.
Get smart. Oh, hold on. What was that? Was Gerry sitting out the... Oh, fuck you, Che.
We addressed that already.
You got your damn video. I know. He got his video. I was an E4 in basic. So you were, what were you, ROTC, or did you do some college?
E4? Wow. I've never heard of that.
Yeah, the highest we had was E3 in basic.
Yeah. That's the highest I saw, too.
Not sure. Yeah, because to have the rank of specialist, Spec 4. Not sure if self-checkout registers have upgraded from Windows NT. Good question. College, you had a college degree. There you go. If you have a degree, like I was told that if I had gone into RN school and finished instead of LPN, I would have been sent to basic and then OCS. And I was just like, and you know, in the military, what our nickname for OCS was. Let's see if 11 Alpha remembers what the nickname for OCS was. You remember, Alpha? Come on.
What does it stand for?
Officers Candidate School.
Oh, okay.
And if I'd gotten my third year of nursing, I would have become an officer.
What's the difference between registered nurse and the other thing? The school?
Oh, I like that one. That is pretty good. Benning School for Boys. No, it is OCS. The acronym we used was Oklahoma Cocksuckers.
Okay.
Because OCS back then was in Oklahoma.
Oklahoma. Probably Fort Sill, huh?
That's where it was, Fort Sill. In the scene when David sees the list of games, he exclaims, "Oh my God." And it shows his realization that he has not gotten access to a video game computer that he wants.
Well, the list starts out harmless with chess and stuff like that, and then it goes darker.
Yes, global thermonuclear war.
Yeah, that's the last one on the list. And when he reaches that, he's like, "Oh my God, what is this?"
I remember when I was young, I came up with a bumper sticker, and turned it into a pin because I couldn't afford to make the sticker. But I first designed it as a bumper sticker, and it said, "If you've seen one thermonuclear war, you've seen them all." I also did one that says, "Quasars are far out," and then in small print. And thank God for that, because they'd kill us. We would die. For across the Chattahoochee to the toy stands our loyal alma mater, Benning School for Boys. I like that one. And by the way, the dialing system that he used in this was a real hack. It just basically, you give it a number all the way through, and what it'll do is it'll call each number with each combination all the way through. and it's looking for another computer to talk to, and it'll just, if you get an answer, it hangs up, goes next. It just does it. It actually takes days for it to go through, for it to cycle through, and finally, he gets one, and he thinks it's the gaming company. 90s that involved around computers was the Hitchcockian thriller The Net. Yeah, I remember that film. I thought it was better than it got treated. Sandra Bullock was in that one. I'm trying to remember, was it Harry Connick? No, not Harry Connick. Who was the male in that one? There was a young man in that one. 95. That was 95. Oh, shit, that was Jeremy Northam. Dennis Miller's in it, too. But it's Jeremy Northam, who's actually English, and he plays an American in it. He actually does a good job playing Americans. Because he did another little film that I liked a lot. Where's it at? Oh, what was that movie called? It was a comedy. A romantic comedy he did with Steve Zahn. Happy Texas. That was it. That's a funny little movie. Ron Perlman's in it. Put up with him. Have you seen that one, Martin? Happy Texas?
No, not looking for it because I'm a fan of Steve Zahn.
Oh, me too. Huge Steve Zahn fan. That's why when I saw the movie Rescue Dawn, I really cried at that scene where, because he's based on the real guy that got murdered by some of the villagers when they escaped the POW camp. He got hacked by a fucking machete. It's just horrible.
But
yeah,
by the
I'm
way,
a Dennis Miller fan. Big Dennis Miller fan.
Yes.
Joe, you're a fan of Mila Jovovich, right?
Hell
I know you
yeah.
are. Well, she has a movie with Steve Zahn and Timothy Olyphant that is called The Getaway.
Okay.
Oh, look for it, man.
Oh, that
Okay.
movie. Oh, yeah. It's a couple's type of retreat situation. And she and he play the other couple in the film. What year did that come out? I remember that movie.
2010s.
Yeah, it was in the 20-teens. I seem to remember that one. Because I think it was on Elm Street when it came out. I think that's where I saw it. And by the way, that's how I remember dates on films, is where I lived when the movie came out or the TV show.
Could be worse.
I have that form of eidetic memory that it's visual. I have visual memory.
The slasher Fred, no, and I will never do.
He's also in that movie Knights of Badassdom, which is not a great film, but it's a fun film.
It's funny.
A fun moment. Yeah, I laughed at it. What I really enjoyed him in was the first Diary of a Wimpy Kid movie. I love that first one. The Perfect Getaway, 2009. I was still living at Elm Street.
He's the only one who can talk to the kid that dresses like Flash because the kid is only speaking Klingon.
Oh, and Daddy Daycare. Yes. I love that movie. In fact, I brought that up to Zoe the other day.
I've been advised not to watch that.
No, don't do it.
What one? What one?
WarGames Dead Code. The sequel of this that came out in 20.
First, I never even knew about it until Minty talked about it. And I'm like, really? There's a sequel?
Oh, no, I knew it.
Got a good cast in it. But I'm going to pause it just for a second because I was about to say something. What was I saying, Anima?
I think you were talking about Daddy's Daycare.
Yeah, Daddy Daycare. I was talking to Zoe about it. I said, hey, I'm planning to do one of your favorite films soon. Do you think you'll join us? And she kind of said, if you do these films, we went through films, she goes, she would feel comfortable to join and talk about them. And I'm like, I got excited about that. I could bring my daughter on the show.
I loved having her when she came on to talk about her artwork. It was great.
Yeah.
I like hanging out with her. She's cool.
Oh, my daughter is so funny. And that was my first experience with her being drunk in front of me. And I'm like, this is the new normal. That's a phrase you learn in the military, the new normal.
It was such a fun night.
And yeah, and Mac, of course, you saw finally when he gets drinking, all of a sudden he becomes fun. And
yeah, he would just disappear and go for new beer all the time and hand out bottles to everyone.
Yes.
He got everybody drunk that night.
Because the joke is, I told Anima this story because
it's hilarious.
Ultra Rob and I, and sadly, Ultra Rob couldn't come that night, but he did get to meet you. I'm glad he was able to make it the next day.
He came the next day.
Yeah. But Ultra Rob and Mac and I were like three amigos, man. We were always hanging out together, watching movies, laughing our asses over, getting drunk. And Bankus and I always analyze Mac. We're always psychologically analyzing him. And both of us noticed that he's a very quiet, reserved person when he's sober. But when he drinks, something happens to him. So we decided it would be funny if we did a what do you call it? Where you confront somebody over something, intervention. And so, yeah, we told him, hey, man, Bank and I want to talk to you about something that's really important. He goes, yeah. I said, look, man, it's your drinking. And we just felt that we better talk to you about it. And you can see he's uncomfortable. And it just makes it even funnier to me. The more uncomfortable he got as we're talking. I said, yeah, when you drink to excess and you become someone we don't know, man. You're somebody completely different than you. You become fun and you say things that are just so funny. And you become like the center of attention, but in a good way, because you just become someone we actually really like. And so I thought it was important for us to let you know that we would like you to drink more and more often. And the look of relief on his face, he goes, you motherfuckers. Oh my God. I thought you were going to get on me about the drinking, that it was bad. It was funny as shit, man. I remember when back in the early 90s when AOL was a lot different than it was today, because it was like the thing. That was one of your major dial-up services, AOL. Buzzing, yeah, it's the same thing. Because that's what you knew you were connecting to the Texas computer system, because that's where we got ours from. Through the phone line, we would contact Texas. That was when it went out to all the schools. And you had Prodigy. I love that movie, dude. Bill Collins has a song in there. It's the classic song. Love. Oh my God! Movie. It was a Diana Ross song that Phil Collins redid is in that movie, and that's one of the reasons I wanted to see it, because I heard Phil Collins did a song in it. I'm a big Collins fan. I enjoyed that movie. The computer is the devil. I remember the poster. It has horns on the computer monitor. But that's a film we should do. Not on Military Monday, but we should do it on Wednesday. I think it would be a good day to do that one. Friday I think we should focus on classic films, classic sci-fi, classic horror, or just simply classic. And Wednesdays we'll stick to doing non-epic films.
Shit, I'm going to have to watch more horror for Fridays. Damn it.
Oh, hell yeah. I am going to get you to watch The Exorcist 3. We'll never do Exorcist because I don't think you can handle it. I do believe you can handle Exorcist 3.
The special edition with spiders.
Fuck off, Martin.
There are no spiders.
I know, he's just saying that to push my buttons.
Wait a minute. What? If you take veteran out of the word veterinarian, you get Inari. Inari was hot in Irefly. Yeah, she's
only her name was Inara. But
yeah.
And by the way, can you believe she married Commissioner Gordon?
What Commissioner Gordon?
From Gotham. that young actor.
Oh.
Morena Baccarin. Man, that woman doesn't age. She's like a vampire.
Now, another thing that he did is Badham, the director, really invited these two to improvise a lot. So one of my favorite moments is where she puts her feet blocking him, and he's stuck between her legs in the room, and he's so uncomfortable and awkward. And he was the one who did that without telling him she was going to do it. And
they were
it's a
told
cute
to
moment.
improvise, to loosen it up a little.
I just said that, yeah.
It wasn't just that the fun got taken out of the movie by the first director. The kids were also scared after he got fired that they might get fired too. So that caused a lot of tension.
Oh, yeah, they were terrified.
Yeah.
They were terrified because he was still a young actor. He'd only done like one film before.
Yeah, I think
Max
he was
Dugan
19 when he did that.
Yeah, he was 19. He did Max Dugan Returns, and he did a Broadway play and this. And he was terrified. But this film put him on the map.
He's always.
And if you've never seen Max Dugan Returns, a very good fucking movie.
Yep. Matthew Broderick's always bounced between Broadway and feature films. Always has.
Yeah. Now I'm going to tell you though, a lot of people don't know this, but he actually he ended up killing two people in real life. And he was dating Jennifer Grey because they had met each other making Ferris Bueller's Day Off, and they started dating. And they were in a relationship, and he took her to Ireland. And his family is Irish. He's got a lot of Irish heritage. And in August 5th of 1987, while driving a rented car outside Timpo, Northern Ireland, Broderick, for some reason, crossed over into the wrong lane. Was driving at a high rate of speed, although I don't know what the speed is. It was listed in the complaint against him that he was speeding. He collided head-on with another car, killing the driver, Anna Gallagher, of 28, and her mother, Margaret Doherty, who was 63. Jennifer Grey had a neck injury, whiplash that was so bad that they had to do surgery to prevent paralysis. And he got injured too. And it was a big case, and it hit the media, and it was not good for him at all. Yes, it was an accident, but at the same time, they basically ended up charging him with something akin to negligent homicide, but with a vehicle. And
the
careless
financial
driving.
fee that he got was ridiculously low.
It was
Vehicular
basically
manslaughter, maybe.
It was $100 or £100 Irish, and in the U.S. at that time, that's a $175 fine for killing.
That wouldn't
two
even
people.
hurt a normal person, let alone somebody who's in movies.
And this is what pissed me off, is that he was supposed to make things right with the family and make amends somehow with them.
He promised
and
to meet them, and that
promised to
never
meet with
happened.
them, never did. And it really bothers me to this day. And it should bother everybody that he did that. That, look, it is an accident. It's terrible, but there was a miscarriage of justice. He should have gone to jail for it. And he should have had to pay a larger fine. Restitution for that fucking family is what he should have been paying.
Yeah.
And that is just a miscarriage of justice. I like the actor. Ferris Bueller, one of my favorite films. WarGames, favorite film. That goddamn man. It's a dark story, and I'm sorry.
Your reputation.
I'm sorry to have to tell that, but here, I'll read this part. The victim's family called the verdict a travesty of justice, quote unquote. The victim's brother's son, the brother of the girl and the son of the mother, Martin Doherty, later forgave Broderick amid plans to meet in 2003. In February 2012, when Broderick was featured in a multi-million-dollar Honda commercial where he's driving a Honda, it aired during the Super Bowl. Doherty openly said that wasn't the greatest choice of drivers knowing his past, end quote.
Wow.
It was a bad choice on his part to accept doing that ad, if you ask me.
And it is what hurt his career. because his career was challenged after that. He didn't do as many films, and he stuck to doing stage.
Look at that. 11
No
Alpha.
shit, 11 Alpha. You need to come on with me. You need to come on the
Yeah.
show.
You need to join us when we do that.
And I still want to point out that painting that's your avatar was on my wall in my bedroom as a child.
11 Alpha, you can have my seat for that show, actually.
No, you will be here. You will fucking be here. You are watching that movie with me. We're going to do it fast. And if you need to, whenever you need to, I'll have you in charge of it so you can skip forward 10 seconds if you need to. And then I'll tell you what happened in the scene. I don't want to do the director's cut, which is called Legion Exorcist 3. Because one, they used lower quality copies of the footage that was edited out. And I got to be honest, I don't really like the ending as much. I think the theatrical ending is better. I think the studio interfered with that film, and they were right. The ending was boring. It just ends. It just ends. He shoots him, and he says the line, "Pray for me, Damien," and then blows the guy away. And it's much better because they brought the actor back to play Damien again, and they shot more scenes with him. And they shot a new priest that's sort of like Father Marin, played by Nicole Williams in the film. You know him as Merlin in Excalibur. He also played Sherlock Holmes with Robert Duvall's Watson in the film The 7% Solution. Great fucking movie. Oh my God. Blatty's book. I read that book, and I love that book. I really do. I thought that it was just better. It was better than The Exorcist, which he wrote too. I thought it was a better story because you get more into the character of Kinderman. And he's such a fascinating character. The whole scenes of that fucking fish in the bathtub slayed me. I was laughing so hard. Because Blatty was a comedian. A lot of people don't know this. He's a writer of comedies. Wrote some of the best movies like The Pink Panther, William Peter Blatty. And but he got this story that he's fascinated with, the true story of that exorcism of that boy. And he switched it up, made it a different place, and told a lot of what happened in that exorcism. The Shadow Show?
That's right.
Oh, I've seen it popping up. That's you. Because it keeps popping up on my feed. I didn't know it was you. Yeah, I'm going to check that out. I hadn't. But
what is it about? Is it about the Shadow, the comic character, or?
I'm going to look it up real quick so I can share it.
Is it on your channel, Vinzinger? Or Firing Minds want to know. Because I searched it, exactly what you typed in, and all I'm getting is the Shadow stuff.
I need to go through my history.
We need more detail. What channel is it on? Is it on your channel? Someone else's channel? Give us more detail.
You can even give us the link.
You could
Twitter
even put the link in there. We can always copy and paste.
No, he can't. He can't put it in there, but he can send it to one of us.
There you go.
So we can put it in.
Send it to me on Twitter. And if you want to join us to talk about the show, I'll send a quick invite to you. Let me open up Twitter right now. There we go. Let's see there. Is that you? Yeah, it's you. Send me a message.
I don't think that's a coincidence. Shit like that happens way too often. Drunk driving resulting in tragedies like that.
The great white Mexican. You know what fascinates me is that the Irish are so integrated. So many of the Irish integrated into the Mexican community. You've got a lot of redheads down there in Mexico. I don't see. Is this your channel?
You need to
Because
stop
you don't
doing
have it
that.
included.
Looking for shit like that while we're doing a show.
Well, I can't help it. 'Cause
Yeah.
I'm trying to find the channel.
Yeah, we should stop doing that.
Right. See what you did,
You're not
Ben
my
Zucker?
mom.
See what you did?
You derailed. Squirrel.
You derailed in the chat even. Oh my gosh.
Well, he's got a right to want to promote his stuff.
I know.
He
Yeah,
does.
well, you need to give us the link.
What do you
And
do?
I'll have
You're
you
like
look
Grandpa
for
on The Simpsons. I know. I just want your attention.
Jesus, fuck off.
No, I'm making fun of Joe, not making fun of you. I just want some attention. I just
You're
want
not
attention.
allowed to make fun of me.
Okay, read the screen. Read the screen so you can.
The Shadow Radio Show. Got it.
I just sent you, but there's one that pops up into my feed like every week, and I'm like, who is that? And why is that popping into my feed?
Mephisto, you really think you're the only person derailing this show?
The coincidence was that you were just talking about Broderick's. Did I miss something? Weird coincidence. One of the other extras. You guys are welcome to read this shit out loud, not just me. Weird coincidence. One of the other extras was a Georgetown basketball player. That. He went to the CBA. Is that Canadian? Was called up by the Celtics and killed a girl in a car accident while celebrating. That's tragic.
Yeah, drunk driving.
That is tragic. And that's where I was. I started going to seminary. Was in Georgetown, and they do show as part of the curriculum the movie The Exorcist.
Really?
Yeah, in seminary.
Wow. That's funny.
Well, you know what? Fuck you, Mephisto. I love you, buddy. I sent you an invite, Vinzinger, if you want to come on and promote your show and then get the fuck off the show. Because I don't want you derailing me again.
Now, Dabney Coleman considers him to be a little shit, a thorn in his side. He wants to deal with this dude and get it done.
Yeah, he's doing the classic principal threat. You know, when the principal threatens somebody.
Yeah.
You know, what you did put you in prison. Yeah, technically, no, it wouldn't. Get him in trouble, get him banned. It'll get you. You're not allowed to be on the internet ever again.
Ever again, right?
You get caught over the age of 18, then you're going to prison.
Kind of like Hugh Jackman's character in Swordfish, right? Illegal to even touch a keyboard. Yeah.
Yeah, I love The Shadow. When I was a kid growing up.
Oh, what a great still frame of Matthew Broderick. He looks like he's so tired to listen to this guy's bullshit. Oh, man. Oh, that is awesome.
And Dabney was good at comedy.
Oh,
by the way.
9 to 5 is one of the probably the
it's the evil boss.
Ever.
Yeah.
Yes.
Another one that he was really good at was a show I watched and my friend was in it. Buffalo Bill, the TV series that he did, where he is a major TV personality, news personality in Buffalo. And God, man, I love that fucking show.
He's got a cameo in my favorite disaster movie of all time, The Towering Inferno. He's the guy that delivers the news to Steve McQueen that he's going to have to go on the roof and blow all the water tanks.
Was that him?
That's him. Yeah.
I need to watch that movie again. I haven't seen that movie since I was a kid. I love the movie though.
I watch
It's one of the
once a
films
year.
I'm terrified. You know, I told you guys, I made the mistake of watching Foul Play with Goldie Hawn and Chevy Chase because I loved that movie as a kid, and it was the movie that introduced Dudley Moore to America.
Yes.
And I enjoyed that movie so much, and then I watched it as an adult, and I'm like, oh my God, this is a really bad movie. I was so annoyed. I made a rule for myself: be careful watching old movies that you liked when you were a kid that you haven't seen since, because
everything
it might
ages
get
well.
ruined for you.
Okay, look at this from Vince. No, Vincent, we are done. We are talking anything but this movie today.
Yeah, dude. That's on us for letting you derail it. It wasn't you derailing it. We derailed ourselves. Towering Inferno.
What's that about?
One of the first shows I did on Brian's channel was a 2-hour show on the Towering Inferno, and it ages well, dude. Trust me, you'd enjoy it again. It's good. Yep.
I don't think that is possible, Cavitino.
How many
What's
men
he talking about?
complete the hacking
Oh,
interview?
you have to see Swordfish to
I wouldn't have made
it's
it
a
through
scene.
it.
No,
My brain's out. Yep.
No. It wouldn't have possibly happened with so much tension. Everybody pointing guns at your head. No, you wouldn't go up.
I don't know, man.
Okay.
I don't know.
Now, I will tell you this: a lot of people don't know it, but let me see if I can
look at Meth. That's the best.
Mephisto.
So
I meant to tell you earlier. I want to know your thoughts on September 5 when it comes out. I'm interested in seeing that movie, and I want to know your thoughts on that one.
I get worried about movies like that it's going to be the opposite of what you're expecting. This is the tunnel from Roger Rabbit, Who Framed Roger Rabbit, famous tunnel.
And Back to the Future too.
And that is the tunnel they use for the entrance of this movie. Mm-hmm. That is the actual location. So I thought that was interesting.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, he's about to use his little.
Vincent doesn't have the invite yet.
Now, Alpha, how do you know that? Because I know it because I was there. How'd you learn that?
Show him that.
Because that's neat that you know that.
Yeah, that's cool.
WarGames would be a different movie if Matthew Broderick's character had to do the hacking interview in Swordfish with M16s and M9s pointed at him. Yeah, completely different film.
Especially with him being a teenager.
And by the way, what he did there, I told Anima, it's the exact same thing that we did when Michael hacked into the school computer to change, not our grades. He changed our schedules. And what happened was Mr. Crawley, who is our math, he was one of the math teachers in the school, but he's also the computer lab teacher. And he kept his passwords taped to the bottom of the slide out armrest thing on his desk. And it was on the underside. And we just looked up underneath and we found the password, and he logged into the computer, and both of it, we got 2 study halls that year.
That's awesome.
That was all he did. He thought it'd be really cool if we had the same study halls and had 2 a day. So we had a morning study hall just before lunch and a study hall last class of the day. And we got away with it. It wasn't the last time we did shit. Mike and I did some really criminal shit that we didn't think was criminal, but when we got older, we went, oh shit, that was a fucking crime we did. Oh my God. We're lucky we didn't go to prison for some of the pranks we did.
Vincent, don't beat yourself up. Dude, our ADD is so strong that we can get lost in a straight alley.
Yeah, look, we call this show ADD Theater for a reason.
Come on now.
My undergraduate and law degrees are from Georgetown. Holy shit, dude. That's my old stomping ground, bro. God, man, you and I have so many things in common. And I went to Georgetown to go to school for seminary. And freshman in seminary school is they're shown in that film. And I've gone to those locations. I bet you did too. If you were there, you went to the location. That steep stairwell, still there. They did change it though. They put rubber pads over the corners on some of the stairs.
Is the house on the campus or?
No. But it's near campus. It is near it. And in fact, one of the what do you call it? Satellite buildings is just to the left of it, or right. If you're facing away from the house, standing at the house, it's to the right. If you're looking at the house, it's to the left.
Gotcha.
And I'll do that. I'll pull it up on Google Maps because they do a fairly good job. They have a nice little visual tour. You can click on buttons. It'll take you to the stairs and shit.
Really?
Yeah. What a lot of people don't know is that house there had a different roof. It's a flat roof, and it doesn't extend to the stairwell. That section of the house in the movie was a fake add-on, as was the French-style roof.
Huh.
Look at that shit.
A Whopper.
Whopper. And it was because there were a couple of reasons why they took the name Whopper. One, it sounds like it whops things, like hits it. And it's a Whopper. But also was because it sounds like the hamburger, the Whopper.
Yeah, the Whopper.
And it was very clever. Oh, I hear somebody's talking.
Yeah, my gremlin.
Oh, don't call
Here's
her
the phone
that.
scene we talked about earlier, where he
call her
doesn't
that
have
when
any
she's
change
annoying.
to make a phone call. And so he goes looking for a can. I forget what they call them. All cans were like that back in the 70s and early 80s. It was, I think, during the 80s, we eventually got the pop top cans. Wasn't that in the 80s, Joe? The late 80s?
Pop top cans?
Yeah.
Without the
The later ones where it didn't come off.
It's in the
It was
80s.
Yeah, I thought so.
Yeah.
So he finds one in the gravel, and you would see them all the time as a kid, usually from beer cans.
Oh,
And,
yeah.
Tossed them. Litter bugs tossed them everywhere. Yeah.
And they're always flattened because people would drive over them or walk over them. And so he finds one, and he's able to connect the chip in the phone receiver, mouth receiver part, to the metal of the lock, and it causes a short, causing the phone to allow him to call. I love that.
Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you, you better be quick, because I was counting when he started doing it, because those phones, they wouldn't maintain that dial tone for very long.
No.
And then it would start going,
Okay, guys, here's why she was meowing. She wanted snugs.
Full screen.
So now she's hanging there drooling over my pullover.
In case you guys are wondering, the Whopper anagram stands for War Operation Plan Response. It's WOPR. It's not spelled with an H or the
almost like
extra
Whooper.
PE. Yeah, Whooper. War Operation Plan Response. That's what it stands for.
She's doing yoga on the floor without a mat, Anima. I bet you hate that.
No, she's just sitting there stretching. What I hated was in that new series that we're watching, when they're really doing a full-on workout on the couch and on the carpeted floor without having a towel under them. That was gross. And I'm talking about Landman. Great series. Check it out.
And by the way, one of the channels, you'll see me share it over on our, and if you're not a member of our channel group over on Facebook, please join us over there. A lot of great information gets shared there. And I follow this one group, and what they do is these are people who go on pilgrimages to locations from movies. And they'll take a photo from the movie, and then they'll show the location today. And it's just wonderful group I follow. Leotard appreciation, yes.
It's the 80s. Come on.
Hell yeah, man.
That and leg warmers.
Let's get physical.
Yeah, there's
physical.
I wore leg warmers when I was doing a dance production.
I didn't
when I was
need
a
that
fake
in
student.
my mind.
And somebody snapped a picture of it, and I said, lose that fucking photo. So I don't know whatever happened to it, but I'm so glad it was destroyed, because I don't anybody ever seeing me in leg warmers, because it was.
Are
really
you sure it was destroyed? You said you
They
don't
are
know what
part of
happened
the
to it.
outfit when you take dance classes. I took dance classes in
Okay,
the 90s
so
and early
I
2000s.
hereby
You didn't need
officially
them.
I am offering a reward to the whole internet if you got that
Find
picture.
that photo.
Look,
All you got to
anybody that
do,
knows you-
Martin, is look up the class of 1983 and start messaging them,
dude.
because
Look.
somebody took that photo.
Imagine Judge Reinhold coming up with that photo.
Right.
We really need that. That's comedy gold.
Gary, anybody that knows you has seen the toga party picture, so hey, we all know the level of your sexuality, bro.
There's
We
a
know what's
picture
up.
where
okay?
he's playing a female.
We
Oh,
know.
where I'm in
Multiple
drag.
times. Yes. Show that one. Come on. I dare you.
Oh
Show
man,
it.
I don't know if
It's great.
I'll have to look it up real quick.
Ugh.
You pulled it
But
up a couple days
I
ago.
really, I got to tell you, I identify with Matthew Broderick, because he kind of looks like I did when I was that age. Same haircut. I had the same, like, everything, dressed the same way. And I was nerdy as hell,
Same
but I was
hot
an
chicks.
athlete. And come to find out, Matthew Broderick liked playing the same sport I love playing, baseball.
Mhm.
He loved playing it as a young man. In fact, AI is a thing, right? Yeah, you can just make pictures. Take a picture of me and put me anywhere.
Check it out, pterodactyl. I love that.
Amazing.
That is so cool.
Yeah, I remember when I saw that, like, the first time I saw that, I'm like, is that a pterodon? That's a pterodon.
Yes.
Did the movie switch on me? I was so confused. And then I saw them and I'm like, oh, what the fuck is it? Oh, it's a fucking glider. Okay.
Yeah.
Radio controlled glider. That freaked me out so fucking much.
Look at the size of the controller he's got for that thing. Everything was huge back then. Oh,
Everything was bigger in the 80s.
everything was made in
a
Texas.
pteranodon. Yes, it is.
Yeah, I said that already. I said, yeah, it's a pterodon. People immediately say pterodactyl, but it's a pterodon.
Yeah, pterodactyl is the
Pterodactyl
group
doesn't
of-
have the part coming off the back of the head.
No. Pterodactyl is the group of flying reptile.
Oh, it is the group. I thought
So
the
I'm not
pterodactyl
wrong.
was the one that had the round head.
No, but because pterodactyl means in Latin membrane between the fingers.
Right.
And the whole movie, the Whopper is going through this program. He started it when he
Dude.
first hacked it. When
What
he first
took
other thing
over.
I like it in this movie is in movies normally the general is the knucklehead of the cast.
He's the
He's
smartest guy in the room.
smartest guy in the fucking room.
Yeah,
Yeah, he is.
Like us on us. He said,
he
"Hell,
was
I'd piss on a
right.
spark plug if it would help." That was an improvisation, not scripted. He said that
Dude.
himself, because a lot of people don't know he's no cowboy.
He sounds like the biggest redneck in the room, but he's also the smartest dude in the room. He really is.
Which again, he is based on a real person. His character is based on General James V. Hartinger of the United States Air Force.
That's how you can always tell the difference between the Air Force and the Army. The Air Force doesn't have the round plate behind their insignia on the lapels. We do. We keep the brass plate behind it. They don't.
I don't know. Did you notice that when they're in the war room and the scene is getting every tenser by the second, Dr. Falcon seems like he's enjoying that too much.
Oh, he's resigned himself that things are going to shit.
The guy is always smiling. We're about to die. The fucking computer had the launch codes. Yeah, and he's smiling. Free that room.
Well, he knows it's a simulation.
Well, this in this scene right here, he's explaining to them why he's resigned himself to it. You know what I mean? He knows we're going to destroy ourselves. So it's not a big surprise to him. Now, these two kids that have their whole lives in front of them are scared shitless, but he's like, had my life. This guy pretty much, his life ended when his kid died, right? So he's just pretty much checked out.
The
kid being Joshua, guys. If you don't know, the program is named after his son, his late son.
Yeah, that's the thing. That there are two things separated, but you perceive it as one. Whopper is the hardware. Joshua is the program.
Yeah.
Oh, we have Bissinger.
What's up, amigos?
Hello.
What's up?
Oh, good. So sorry for ruining you guys.
Oh my!
Hey, Bissinger.
Hey, Gerry. Again, sorry for derailing.
No, don't worry, man. That's what we
The
do.
talent show that I was referring to was
I
the
will
Shadow Radio
never
show.
forgive you. No. You shall forever be banned from my channel. No. So what do you do with this shadow thing? Let me pause the video for a sec.
I'm still multitasking with work.
I hope to God you're not a surgeon.
I'm not a surgeon. I'm working at a store in Mexico.
In Mexico?
Yeah.
The fuck?
Really? So you and Martin are close to each other, maybe?
Well, the part of Mexico that I'm living in is called Los Altos, Jalisco.
Oh no, it's yeah, we're not close.
I was gonna say Mexico's a big.
Where is that? Where's it located in Mexico?
I think in eastern Jalisco. Jalisco is a Mexican state, mind you.
Yeah. I'm in the state of Mexico.
Is it coastal?
I'm not in the coastal area, but the state is coastal.
Okay.
Which explains Puerto Vallarta.
Oh man, that's absolutely beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
So, what were we doing? Really?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
There we go. You guys all stop talking.
Oh, my bad.
Sorry,
My bad. I was busy drawing some. I was busy drawing some something like a sign for something that we're selling.
I was finding something for Anima because she asked me to find it, so I went and found it. So we'll get back to the slideshow. Vincinger, there's a lot of background sound with you, so I'm going to mute you. There we go. So before I show me in drag, here you go. This is me just before I go in drag, looking like I'm mentally handicapped.
Absolutely.
So normal Gerry.
Yeah, normal Gerry. That's Havard Brooks, and I can't remember the girl that played Mary in it. I just don't remember her name. But Havard and I were friends outside of the theater. Good dude. This is me and my first ex right there. I was 17 in that photo.
My God, yes, you look like Broderick.
But look at the fact you can see my heterochromia really clearly in that photo.
It's not
In
that
fact,
clear. After seeing you in
to me, it's very
reality.
distracting. That light brown eye on the right side of the photo. And here's the one that Anima wanted me to show you, is me in drag. I was wearing my girlfriend's dress.
Boom. Isn't that great?
Yeah.
That's
a
a
I
pity
don't know why you're fussing about the leg warmers. This
Awesome.
And a lot of people don't know this. This is a picture of Martin with his hairpiece.
Dr. Martin.
Martin Stark.
I do not need a hairpiece, and that is a problem for me because I want to be bald.
And by the way, 11 Alpha, Father Weems likes you.
Funny, when he's disapproving, he's got the same face.
Mm-hmm.
Same expression. It's sort of like Harrison Ford. Like,
one side is
you can't
happy
tell
and
if
one side is grumpy.
you can't tell if he likes you or if he wants to murder you. Harrison Ford has one of those faces. Another one, Dick Miller. He would fucking like his approval. I like this one. This is one of my favorite new photos. This is the new action figure for girls. It's called Whispering Biden.
Ugh.
The what? Oh, I
Back
didn't
to
see.
the movie, please.
Oh, it's Whispering Biden. Here you go, Martin.
Ooh.
It's a new action figure.
Where's the soundbite, Martin? Come on.
If you wind it up, it lies.
Wait for
That's as
it. Wait for
political
it.
as I'm getting today.
No, we can go a step further. We can say always.
True international under pressure.
Hell yeah.
I love it when Tom has the
the
simulator
voice changer
that allows him to do Biden. It's so
oh my
fucking
god,
funny.
yes.
He will derail a show, and I'll just sit there quietly listening to him talk like Biden, confused.
John's got one of those too. It's great.
By the way, Tom and I talked, and we may be doing Gremlins this Saturday.
Gremlins 2.
Gremlins 2, I apologize. Who all is here? Let me check. We got Slasher Fred, Vinzinger, Cavatino, Kellerman Che, Scribe. Scribe is here. Penny, Glenn Fleming, Mephisto, 11 Alpha, Zacharot 315, Pop Culture Republic, who I met on another stream. I think it was Loki I was on with. I can't remember. I just like hanging out with my friends when I get a chance.
You're the stream whore.
You know, I used to not be. And I decided that I really need to get out and hang out with some of these guys on their streams and stop just focusing on what I'm doing. And I really started enjoying. Hey, Helen Place, what's up, dude?
Hey.
I'm going to tell you something, Che. In the Army, I wore knee highs with my boots. I'd put the military socks over the nylons because the socks we had were like wool ones because it was winter. And I would put the stockings on, and people were like, why are you doing that? I said, if you do it, you'll find out why. Because your fucking legs and dogs don't hurt as much. So yeah, I wore stockings. Hair sticking out of them and everything. I used to have really hairy
Hell
legs.
yeah. Before we knew
Everyone needed
about
that
long
image in
johns
their
and
heads,
shit,
Gerry. Thank you.
anybody that had to be out in the cold wouldn't mind wearing nylons, no doubt. That keeps the warmth in, no doubt.
Also, it helps circulation. I used to get a lot of swelling in my feet when we're out in the field too long.
Joe Namath used to wear them in them cold days in New York.
Yes, he did.
Who?
Joe Namath.
Joe Namath, the guy that
I'm not going to say he's a great quarterback, but he's a very famous quarterback.
He's a very famous quarterback because his guarantee to win the third Super Bowl basically ushered in the era of the NFL you know today. Because the the NFL played the AFL two different leagues up until the AFL beat the NFL. And when that happened, the NFL said, okay, you're not going to beat us every year. We're going to buy you, and you're going to be part of the NFL. So that's his win made what you see today every Sunday.
Outstanding.
So,
by the way, this is
if
the
you can
stunt
beat
scene
him
right here that they had the accident. This is it right here. I paused it so we could get into this. Sorry, Martin.
Don't worry.
And so that's what they decided to have them run to the building instead.
Hello?
That actually helped build the tension, if you ask me.
Yeah, but I don't know that crash. That was something. They shouldn't have get up that easily.
So I wasn't aware they did get hurt in that stunt.
They did. They were hurt, but not badly. But it wasn't.
Because what I read was that there was an accident and nobody was seriously hurt.
Well, not seriously, but.
And another thing that came from this movie, I'm not sure if I already brought this up, but I do want to make sure I say it, is that this made hacking sexy. And that's when you saw an uptick on people becoming hackers.
Yeah, absolutely.
Nobody had ever talked about them in another movie before. The closest thing we had to that was the movie The Conversation back in '74. With Gene Hackman.
They were kind of taboo to talk about, really.
Well, they just weren't. It wasn't something really well known. General public really didn't know what hacking was.
Well, neither do directors of most movies and series that involves hacking, because they always show the hacker just typing furiously for a couple seconds, and then he's like, I mean, that's not what hacking is like.
Well, yeah, because like Patriot Games Clear and Present Danger. They want to know some information on this guy, and they give it to the hacker guy there in for the CIA, and they turn around and they're like, "Well, this will probably take a few days." So they walk away, and he's like, first child's birthday inverted, second child's birthday, and he's just like saying it out loud as he's typing it in, and as they're walking away, saying, "Oh, this will probably take days," and he goes, "I'm in." They get about 10 feet and he's already hacked in. And I thought that was one of the best representations of hacking.
Yeah.
What it is learning information. It's information about who your target is and whatever it is system that they created. And they show that in this film too, because he goes to the library and starts reading up on Dr. Falcon.
Oh. Anima, would you read this one?
What? Didn't have to wear women's nylons in my time. They made nylon, polyester, and elastic thread moisture wicking socks. Yeah, I knew you would make me do that. Fuck you guys.
Your favorite word.
Yeah, fuck off.
Now, did you notice that there's a guy in the war room that looks exactly like John Vernon?
No, I didn't notice that.
Yeah, I was watching the movie. Is that John Vernon? No, he's not. I check it out, but no, the guy looks exactly like a younger version of John Vernon.
All right, here you go. This is John Vernon, honey. You remember him? He was the dean of the college in Animal House. Major actor of the 60s and 70s.
And the policeman in Killer Clowns. So 2 for 2.
The police chief, yes.
Yeah, fuck that. 2 movies.
And he's had one of the funniest moments in that film.
But we also saw him
was a Cylon?
What?
Yeah.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. In the new Battlestar Galactica, one of the human-looking Cylons is John Vernon's daughter.
Holy shit.
Beautiful woman, may I add. Kate Vernon.
All of his kids are. His two daughters are gorgeous. But Kate Vernon, yeah, I remember her. She's aged very well. Sorry, you guys derailed me again.
Didn't mean to.
Now, if I were in charge of editing this movie, I would have stopped after the tic-tac-toe sequence. The reenacting of the actual bombings is the same thing that as the tic-tac-toe, and the computer has played that.
It's redundant. It's redundant. It is. I've always felt also we needed kind of an end where we know he doesn't go to prison or go to jail or get in legal trouble still. Because the movie just ends abruptly. It just ends there. It's over. We're not all going to die. But that's not really the end of the story, because we want to know. I wanted to know what happened to this kid.
Well, there's only two options: either jail or kid, you're working for us now.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
Military, don't kid
That's
yourself.
what we want to know. Absolutely.
They absolutely would have hired him. Absolutely would have hired him, because right out of high school, what they would have done is said, "We're going to pay. You're getting a full ride, but you're coming to work for us. You're going to sign a contract now that once you graduate, you work for the NSA or Department of Defense."
It would be stupid not to.
You see, now is a good moment to do a sequel with him being the Dr. Falcon and dealing with AI.
So yeah, I kicked your other version out, Joe.
Yeah, I thought I closed it. I had to change venues there for a second.
So for a moment, we had Double Joe or JoJo.
Yeah.
Oh my!
I thought I closed it, Gary. Sorry about that.
It's a double shot of Joe.
Double shot of Joe. Look out. Good stuff.
Yeah, let's put the missile control in the hands of a computer. What can go wrong?
What can go wrong? See, I've always thought you could show this movie, then show the Terminator, then show the Matrix, and just have the complete evolution of the machines taking over. You know what I mean? I always thought that could be extensions of the same story. You know what I mean?
Scary.
And you could always have a dipshit saying, "Well, but in the end, you can fly." What the fucker?
Whatever. A lot of ditches and Air Force bases, no doubt, man. No doubt about that. I love the Air Force base I'm next to, man. The reservation's my favorite place. There's one of those ditches had an alligator living in it. We used to see every time we went out to the reservation. It was freaking
Oh, that's
cool.
nice.
Yeah.
Did you feed him?
No, hell no. Stayed the fuck away from it. But I thought it was neat that it was there. You know?
What's wrong with you, Martin?
I had 2 pet crocodiles.
Yeah, not everyone is weird and suicidal like you. Jesus, that's not a pet you should have. It's not an animal fit to be a pet.
You don't tell me what to do.
Right?
It's dangerous, man.
Oh man, I should be living in Florida.
And
Barksdale, the base that I'm close to, is probably shown in several frames of this movie getting hit by a missile, because it's like number 3 on the hit list.
Oh,
number one is the capital, of course. Number 2 is NORAD, but number 3 is us and Minot, North Dakota, because that's where all the B-52s fly out of. It's the Strategic Air Command. So yeah.
I grew up in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and one thing my dad made a point to tell me, he says, he says, "You don't need to worry about a nuclear war, son."
Huh.
I said, "Why?" He says, "We're in Fredericksburg. We're completely surrounded by bases that would be hit, so we would just see a bright light, and that's over."
Yeah. I always joke that I would say I'd look at Foxy and go, "What was that flash?" and it'd be over with. You know,
That's it. You would disintegrate. Your body wouldn't. It would happen so quickly. Your brain could not perceive it.
Perceive pain.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's nothing. You would just die instantly.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
You would cease to exist. You would be. What's the parrot? Dead parrot joke.
An ex-parrot.
It would be something like that.
The choir invisible.
It would be something like that. You see the flash, and then you're a ghost in your when your couch used to be.
Yeah. I mean, the skeleton hanging onto the fence in Terminator 2 is really cool looking and everything, but no, you'd be vaporized instantly. Your skeleton wouldn't even be there. Yeah.
WarGames becomes Terminator, becomes the Matrix. A bunch of Gen Zers with their faces buried in their phones.
Yeah, it was disappointing. The disappointing dystopia.
Right.
What is this?
I felt like this part of the movie is so drawn out. They could have made it shorter.
We had Dahlgren. We had Fort Belvoir, which is where I was stationed with my unit first. And we had Fort A.P. Hill. We had Washington, D.C. And all of that was like around us.
Yeah.
In Fredericksburg. It's just like all within 50 to 40 miles. It's like, yeah, Fredericksburg be completely wiped off the map.
If you're in northeastern Virginia or southeastern Maryland, yeah, you're toast.
Plus Langley is there. Quantico. Jesus, man, that place is just littered with military and intelligence.
Yep. Norfolk Naval Base is there. I mean,
Quantico, I used to go to Quantico all the time because they had a reservoir there where my dad and I would go fishing. I loved Quantico. It's part of the reason I think I wanted to be a Marine. Also because my brother Stephen, after he got back from deployment, went AWOL and got busted after getting a ticket in Boston and got arrested by SPs, and he spent the rest of his time in the Marine Corps at Quantico in jail. I was like, well, they gave him what was called a less than honorable, not a dishonorable, but a less than honorable discharge. But it finally got upgraded. My dad helped him fight for it, and he got his honorable discharge because he did serve overseas honorably. It's just when he got back on drugs and bad stuff. And that's it. That's the end of the movie right there. It's just like, oh, it figured it out. Yay, we won. It's over.
But first they draw that scene out, and then they just cut it off. And
it just ends abruptly. And I'm like, well, what happened to the kid and his girlfriend? Did he get the fucker? Come on, I want to know.
Did they novelize this thing? I don't remember.
I don't know. I'm sure they did. I'll look it up real quick.
Yeah.
Hey guys, suffer the background. It was from the car and from the kids.
Ah.
You're good, man.
And the motorcycles.
So yeah, there was the book, and it was published the same year, 83, May 1st of 83, and it was written by David Bischoff. And David Bischoff is a name I have never seen before, but he has worked on some other books. He wrote the Complete Aliens. He wrote the book, The Complete Aliens Omnibus, Volumes 1 and 2. Young Sun Ra and the Strange Celestial Roads is another book. I don't know any of these fucking books. Yeah, he's written nothing I give two shits about. Holy crap, no, he worked on some of the Star Trek novels with Keith Birdsong's artwork on the cover. Drew Blair's another Star Trek artist. All three of us were Star Trek artists. And we would openly mock Birdsong about his book covers. He wouldn't get butthurt, but he would get shy and apologetic because I said, great cover this time, but I got to ask you, it's pretty much the same as the other cover. What makes it this story? And he goes, guys, you know that I'm told to paint these this way. I don't pick anything from the story. They just want the portraits of the characters in stop fucking with me, guys.
They want the likenesses. Stop it.
That's all they wanted. So that was it. I got the honor of being the only artist to paint battles from Star Trek. I painted 2 Star Trek paintings that were battles from Star Trek Next Generation. I did Narendra 3, and I did the Battle of Wolf 349.
Damn, I wish I had gone and bought that frame so I could show it off, because Narendra 3 is in my possession.
Yes. Now we were talking about books. I wanted to promote John's 2 books.
The Tomb of Thunder. Yeah.
It's a story about a dead guy that farts a lot.
Oh my God. that is available right now. The other one.
I'm going to give you a copy of that.
And this is on pre-order. It comes out on January.
Yeah,
and he's working on the 3rd and 4th. So there you have it. Let me put that on the links for each book on the chat.
It's an adventure where these guys, basically, it's kind of a holy grail search. They're searching for the resting place of Thor in the first one, the Tomb of Thunder.
Yeah, the ferries up in Washington are a lot bigger than the one they show in that movie. So I agree with you.
The ferries?
Yeah, the boats that carry cars across.
No, I was trying to
the islands.
Ferries and ferries.
Yeah, they've got longer wingspans. That's it. Yeah, the ferries. Much bigger. They're much bigger than that pterodactyl glider.
They got ornithopters.
Yeah, it's true. I've actually seen that one, Alpha. Good stuff. Good stuff. All right, so we can wrap up here. Once again, Gerry and Drag.
Looking down.
You've always had ape arms, haven't you, Gerry? Good Lord, man. You've got one hell of a wingspan.
It's a pity Anima's clothes won't fit on you.
Back then, I had the oddest waist measurement. I have a 32-inch leg inseam with a 31 waist. Just a weird measurement. All my height is from my trunk up, because my navel is actually under that belt line for that skirt I'm wearing. That was a pretty skirt she had. I liked it when she wore that. It was made in India, and it had elephants on it. You can see them there walking.
It looks Indian, yeah.
It was very pretty.
Oh,
speaking about my stuff fitting on Gerry,
we have Nadia.
Matthew,
Nadia.
I sat next to Gerry, and my thigh is only the size of his forearm. That's how size difference there. I'm tiny.
Please, Gerry. Once she's in America, please, do not break Anima.
She was freaked out when I picked her up and carried her. I just scooped her up and walked with her.
He was sitting on his bed and scooped me up as I walked past him.
And I stood up from a sitting position with her in my arms.
Are you crazy? Your back is fucked. Don't do that.
I said, it's not like I can take you very far. I would probably end up using you as a mat to fall on.
Ouch.
Look what's Nadia saying here.
Well, just look at the size of his hands in the picture. Good Lord, you know?
I will point out that real quick, this was a running gag in high school. Somebody would ask how big something is, and I would measure it with my hand, and then I would say it's over 9 inches. or it's smaller than 9 inches.
Right.
And I would always get this weird look, like, how do you know that that's exactly 9 inches?
Well, let me explain.
And I would just go, I wouldn't. I would always go, it's just something I know. Nothing weird about it.
Something that most men know, right?
God, man, I used to say some of the weirdest shit. I once during a football game. During a football game, it was a senior football game, and I was still JV, and I was there. And you go in your uniform, your jersey. All the guys from the team from JV football would put on their jerseys. We'd show up for the home game. And I saw a friend of mine, Jenny, that I wish I knew where she is. She was so funny. And she was in marching band, and she was getting up to go get something to drink off the stone. We had concrete bands. It was just huge seating. And as she got up, it was, how did I get that? I can't even remember how I had it. I really don't. But I had a one of the fungo bats. And it may be because we had practice before the game, but I had a fungo bat in a bag. And I pulled it out and I shoved it down my pants, down the inside of my thigh. And I started walking towards her with the knob end lower so it'd stick out. And I said, "Hey, Jenny, I've been thinking about you all day," and I'm limping towards her. She just started laughing and running, and I chased her around the football field. It was
Oh
hilarious.
my God.
Hey, Jenny, I was thinking about you all day.
Man. Yeah.
No, different kind of Jenny. She was what you would call a pretty Southern girl. She wasn't like hot like Robin Wright, beautiful. She just had one of those faces. We were very good friends. I always liked her in school, not in a weird way or a sexy way. I just liked her. I thought she was funny. Great sense of humor. She was in band. I eventually quit band. I think you guys know that because Mr. Jordan got tired of us showing up worn out for band practice. And from the day before, from football. And so he decided to schedule band practice at the same time as football practice in the afternoons instead of the mornings. And he lost his entire drum corps. All the drummers were on the football team. He's like, make a choice. And I said, I've got a better chance of getting laid in playing football. So don't know about you guys. I'm sticking with football.
There it is.
Where's the fireworks? No fireworks. There it is.
Sometimes it takes a second, buddy.
That's Joe exploding.
Football too. I'd have chose football too. I'm all over that one. Yep, I'd have chose.
Yeah,
football
Joe
too.
keeps exploding, guys. There he is exploding again.
That and I rock and roll too. I rock and roll. Yeah, I do.
Luckily, my trunk wasn't showing it. Yeah, we're doing Near Dark on Thursday, guys. Classic vampire film from the 80s. I love the vampire movies of the 80s. We haven't watched it yet, have we?
No. We were going to last week, and then they postponed.
Yeah, fucking Naughty and Greg are so difficult.
Well,
whenever they're free,
because
I told Nadia, she's like, I can't be there, guys. And I said, then we're not doing the show. I said, I don't want to do the show without you and Greg, because that's why I like doing the show, is I like hanging out with the two of them. Although there was one, we did the first Evil Dead film. I got to be honest with you, the first Evil Dead film is not that interesting a film to talk about. Told some of the stories, but we derailed so much during that episode. It was like, God, we got to stop doing that because we had so much fun just talking. Junior ROTC, Speech Club, Sci-Fi Club, Real Chick Magnet. Yeah.
Woo! Dude.
I was in Fight Club in school, but we couldn't talk about it.
Couldn't talk about Fight Club. Yeah.
Now we had several clubs that we got to create. I created one, I forget the name of it, where it was people that wanted to go into the medical field. And it was kind of fun. They let us create that, and it lasted 1 year. And I was in chess. Here's the funny thing. I wasn't in chess club, but I was in chess club. Victor was in chess club, my buddy Victor Armstrong. And I was the person that they would pick to come in and challenge them. And I would play against the chess club. Also, same thing with debate. I wasn't in debate, but I was a person that was invited in to be a guest because I was a master debater.
So you, oh my God. So you were there for sparring, basically.
That's really what it was. They asked me to come in and spar with the other people because the teacher saw me win an argument with a teacher, another teacher. And it was, I know, sorry about that, Helen Blaze. She was so impressed with the debate I had with another teacher. And I won the debate, the argument. And she was like, "You're very good at that. You should join debate club." And I said, "I don't know. I need to take care of my dad is really what I couldn't do it. I couldn't go after school, but I could show up and I could do a debate with somebody. They would give me what the subject is and I would argue it." We had a club called STP Club, Students Toward Procrastination. I like that one. I never got around to joining. Everybody was late. In Gary's clubhouse, everyone must enter through. Oh, Che, come on, man. I guess you get it. I'll give it to you. It's not great, though. I get better ones from Che. I expect better from you, Che. You have much better breeches. I like your breeches. I like the way you wear your breeches. So I've got another one here. Here you go, guys. Another one from WarGames.
Games! Try it. John, let's feed it a tapeworm.
That's too risky. It might smash the system.
How'd the kid get in? Through the back door?
We took it out.
Can we invade the deep logic?
They took out the back door.
Took out the back door.
And with that,
too much pro.
That's it. Show's over.
So we're gonna wrap it up here, guys. Thanks for dropping in. Where's Boosh? We haven't seen him in a while. That's right. I noticed when some of you guys don't show up, and after a bit, I'm like, "Is everything okay?"
Yeah, we missed you when you stopped showing up.
Yeah. Kyle's not here. Where the fuck is Kyle?
He usually shows up around the end of the show.
Yeah.
So fuck you, Kyle.
Just not the same show unless we can tell you to fuck off. I mean, it's just not the same.
Kazoo band for home. Oh my God.
Kazoo band. Oh no.
Alpha.
We would always make our announcements late.
Get out of town. A kazoo band. Oh no.
I know. Hey, you know what? This reminds me of that time. Today's episode was brought to you by cutting the cost of Santana's hair. This episode is also partially funded by Nose Sparkles. This episode is also partially funded by that Time and Band team. That's all, folks. Y'all come back now. You hear?
Thank you.